Dear viewers, welcome to this YouTube channel. In this chapter, there will be an explanation of Tanu's prediction, 2, as follows. Tanu's prediction, first house. 1. There are planets in Tanu house. Moon, 2, with good dignity, in its domicile, exalted, pre-exalted, Maha Chakra, Raja Yoga, etc., or with normal dignity will be a sweet, kind, charming person, especially female. His horoscope is strong, would be easily successful. We will explain by adding more of a planet's dignity. For example, if it is a domicile planet, his life will be slowly, gradual, steadily successful. If it is exalted, he will be steadily and popularly successful, by his work or his character, in a high status. For Maha Chakra, his fortune will rise very rapidly in an extraordinary way. For impaired moon, 2, detriment, debilitation, his manner will be too sweet or too soft. It will be too timid, for male, or unattractive or has no charming, for female. His horoscope is weak, he has to work harder than usual to be successful. Later in life, his fortune will be deteriorating. For detriment, it will be gradual falling. For debilitation, it will be steadily depreciating. It could not be critical if there are some other good planets or houses. Do not consider his fortune by only one planet, neither in good nor bad dignity. Mars, 3, with good dignity, as a domicile, exaltation, pre-exaltation, Maha Chakra, Raja Yoga, etc., or normal dignity, he will be diligent, stubborn, hot-headed, brave, daring, in a reasonable way, and a strict rationalist. He will be logical, openly straightforward, frank, rash and blunt. He is always willing to be exploited by other people. He has skills in way of craftsman, warrior, fighter, adventurer, soldier or police. His horoscope will be strong, easy to be successful. We expand a meaning by adding in a planet's dignity. For example, it is a domicile, his life will be successful in a gradual, stable way. If it is exalted, his life will be popularly successful, by his work or his character, and will be in high steady status. For Maha Chakra, his life will be successful in an extraordinary way. If Mars, 3, is bad, detriment, domicile, debilitated, he will be irrationally diligent, or too lazy. He might be soft or wildly stubborn. His horoscope is weak, he has to work very hard to be successful. For detriment, later in his life, his fortune will be deteriorating, the longer it takes it will be the worse. For debilitation, it will be constantly deteriorating. But it will not be too critical if other planets or houses are good. We could not judge a fortune by one planet, either by its good or bad dignity. For Mercury, 4, with good or normal dignity, he will be talkative, it is obvious that he could not stop talking. Conjoining with Ascendant is external characteristics. He will be elaborate, he likes information and textual works. Internal characteristics, he is usually good in studying. But if Mercury, 4, is bad, he will be non-stop talkative in a style of delusion, improper manner. Sometimes, he will not talk much, too elaborate in details or bossy or even does not talk at all. Whether his horoscope will be strong or weak or will he be successful, it is identical to a case of aforementioned Sun, 1, Moon, 2, and Mars, 3, because they are in conjunction with an ascendant. Jupiter, 5, with good or normal dignity, he will be a high moral, very optimistic and soft-hearted person. He will always be conscientious and considered. If it is bad and related to an ascendant, he will be moral anyway. But it could be sometimes neglected, lack of consciousness, so he commits himself to bad things from time to time. His perspective will be from neutral to optimistic. If it is not related to an ascendant, he will be immoral, lack of consciousness. If it falls on Maha, Ari or Venusana house, Bhava, he could commit to bad things at any level. Jupiter will cause morality, if it conjoins or is related to ascendant. Whether his horoscope will be strong or weak or will he be successful, it is identical to aforementioned Sun, 1, Moon, 2, and Mars, 3, because they are in conjunction with an ascendant. Venus, 6, with good or normal dignity will be a person with imagine. He likes entertainment and he is a hilarious person. He has at least one artistic skill, and he is aesthetic. Also, if it conjoins with Sun, as a kindred pair, or Mars, as a friendly pair, he has a high level of lust, more details later on. If Venus, 6, is impaired, the artistic style is inferior or strangely eccentric, or unusual, but if it is not related, it means in a way of hidden talents. It will be mentioned in the next chapter. Whether his horoscope will be strong or weak or will he be successful, it is identical to aforementioned Sun, 1, Moon, 2, and Mars, 3, because they are in conjunction with an ascendant. Saturn, 7, with good or normal dignity, he will be an overthinking person, very considerate, slow at work, enduring and hard-working. He could do well in plantation or agriculture, which requires a hard work. It also has a meaning about land and house. But if Saturn, 7, is bad, he will be overthinking in a delusional way, too much thinking. Although he could do a hard work, but for long term it is deteriorating. Whether his horoscope will be strong or weak or will he be successful, it is identical to aforementioned Sun, 1, Moon, 2, and Mars, 3, because they are in conjunction with an ascendant. Rahu, 8, with good or normal dignity, would be a smart, cunning, or tricky person. In some cases, they are opposite. They could be fooled easily, but they are only in minor portion. If he is interested in something, he would be highly enchanted. He is open-minded, enterprising, irrationally daring. He is congenial in stock markets, lottery, alcohol drink, addictive substance, allurement, easy job, management, financial work, transportation. But if Rahu, 8, is impaired, he would be easily fooled with any kind of temptations. But we also have to look at his Jupiter, 5, his consciousness, and Sun, 1, his pride, face-saving ego, and Mars, 3, his rationality and straightforward character. Let us wait which one will be heavier or lighter. We could not conclude the result with only one planet. See Rahu's 8 explanation in many cases in the next chapter, whether his horoscope will be strong or weak or will he be successful. It is identical to aforementioned Sun, 1, Moon, 2, and Mars, 3, because they are in conjunction with an ascendant. Ketu, 9, conjoining an ascendant, if there is no other planet staying with, it does not display any obvious character because it is a spiritual elementary planet. we have to consider in complementary with other planets which in opposition, sextile, trine to it, since they will increase its dignity of good or bad according to Ketu's 9 definition. Uranus 0, conjoining an ascendant, a native's emotion will be turbulent, getting bored easily, mysterious, hard to be understood. His health is not rather good. He might have a sixth sense in mysterious things. If there is Mars conjoining or related to, it will be obvious that he will have health problems. If Ketu 9 is also in conjunction, it would increase the turbulence. He might have some disability. Some persons have autism, but they also have other kinds of talent. We must not forget that those aforementioned planets are conjoining an ascendant, which have a clear, direct and easy meaning. But in the case of those planets that do not relate with an ascendant, it is a big issue. It has various details. We must carefully consider them later on. Those aforementioned texts are meaning for each planet. If there are many of them at the same place, we have to add their meanings together. But we could divide their percentage of influence by their number and then mix their meanings. The mixing of planets' meaning is a core of a prediction which will be taught later on. Getting a rank, a position, a reputation or an honor, it does not have to be only because of the Sun, 1. But it could be caused by any planet, if his horoscope is strong enough and they are in good dignity from both outer and inner planets. When we make our prediction, we must look to the second step relationship between a planet and ascendant. Checking whether they are in opposition, 80%, forward, backward sextile, 60%, forward, backward trine, 50%, and what is its dignity. We first consider whether or not it is a friendly, elementary, kindred or enmity pair to a planet conjoining an ascendant, since it will increase or decrease that ascendant conjoining planet's dignity. We also weight the relationship by its aspect, oppose, sextile or trine, because it has different percentage results. Planets analysis step. After that, we then interpret other planets related to an ascendant, considering each one's dignity and the opposition, sextile or trine's percentage. Since all the planets that are related to a native will cause him to be in that character, internal factors, without mixing with any bhava or house yet. Moreover, there are external factors that involves with this native. For example, Jupiter, 5, is related to an ascendant is the external factors such as his seniors will support him. If Jupiter is good, they will be powerful. If it is bad, they might want to help, but they are also powerless. When we complete considering planets relating to an ascendant, we should check that which house the ascendant conjoining planet came from. But it is rather not obvious because most of them rule 2 zodiac sign each. We could divide its weight into 50% for each house. Also, we use only its houses, bhavas, meaning. For example, if it comes from Patni house, bhava, it means his spouse or his business partner will stay with him or will be his burden. If it comes from Sahaja, his friends will always come asking for help or asking to be with him. Those planets which are not related to an ascendant actually affect a native with other characteristics, inner talent. But I am afraid it will be confusing. Let me explain it later on. 2. Tanu house, bhava, does not have any conjoining planet. There is no outer planet with an ascendant. A native will not have an outstanding external characteristics because this house, bhava, will display his character for 100%. Since there is no conjunction, this part has no value. So, his horoscope's strength or weakness will only depend on Tonulak, or inner house planet. We consider it as the same principle as a conjunction. But we have to cut off a conjunction step. The remaining is to consider second step relationship, which might aspect an ascendant by opposition, sextile or trine. They will usually have less effect to an ascendant as aforementioned rules of percentage. Friendly, elementary or kindred pairs will relate each other by their own opposition, sextile or trine. They will have a much reduced effect to an ascendant. After that, we will interpret Tanu house, Bhava, or the native self from each planet. We start with the one that in opposition because it affects an ascendant for 80%. Then we continue to forward, backward, sextile and trine. There are many interpretations for those planets, but we do not need to use them all. We should select most outstanding ones first. Later interpretations should be optional or an expansion. However, we should always consider planets' influence and dignity. In this stage, it will be a meaning about his actual self, Tanu, by not involving his other houses or bhavas that those planets come from. When we are more experienced, we could reconsider other houses, bhavas, altogether without getting confused. Outer house planets have principal meanings of external factors or characteristics since they could be seen or some are substantial. Please stay tuned for the upcoming episodes.